Very good team. Unfortunately, the second quarter was not as good as it seemed. That was our quarter that hurt us throughout the whole year. But if you look back and you think back to the third quarter, we only let them score once in that third quarter, and that was huge. Okay, considering the score was huge for us to continue to play hard as we did against that team. You move forward to West Windsor North, powerful running team. Came in, we kept it close. They probably thought they were just going to run all over us right in the beginning. It was only 24-14 at the half. Their first drive, we held them to a field goal. We kept them on their toes. Fourth game, toughest game of the year against Hopewell. There's not really much I can say to that game other than I think that was the team that showed up on our part was not the team that we were the entire season. And that definitely stuck, and we will look forward to playing them again next year. Fifth game was against Allentown. Faced a really tough team, had one of the best running backs in the conference, and I think he may have broken the all-conference record in rushing. And we did a good job containing him early on as well. And right before the half, if you guys remember, we hit Alex to Eric on a long nine route for a touchdown right before the half. So it was a good point of that game. Seventh game, you guys remember Ewing. Ewing has one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the area, and that was definitely one to remember, because if you remember right before the half, that's when we had our huge goal line stand. And not only that, let's go a little before that in that game, we actually stopped them inside the 10, forcing them to kick a field goal, which was great. But going back to the goal line stand, fourth and goal from the 1, and the quarterback thought he could get in there, and we just did a great job. And even though the score was, I'm not really sure, I don't want to say the wrong thing, 20-something-7, 20-something-0. We went into the half, fired up, running in, came right back out, got the ball, and literally ran that ball down the field and scored a touchdown. And that was a great sight to see, considering the situation. Eighth game against Lawrence. Started off the game with a squib kick that ended up in our hands that we took, drove down the field, scored a touchdown, and then we were down 7-6. We wish the outcome was different, but it wasn't. End of the game consisted of a long passing catch and topped off with a TD run by Jeff Adebayo. The ninth game was Nottingham. We knew this was going to be a tough game. We knew they had a receiver that had consecutive 1,000 yards receiving, which is extremely tough to do in high school. And we did a good job. Their first 2 drives, we picked them off. And then it was only 6-0 after the first quarter. 10th game, Montgomery. Faced them this is the second time now. Started the game off pretty well. We put a 16-play drive together, and we're able to walk away with some points. We kicked the field goal, got 3 points. It was only 7-3 in the first quarter. Some highlights overall. Special teams. We let up 3 touchdowns in the first 2 games, trying to figure ourselves out. We then only let up 1 other special team touchdown in the next 8 games, which is a huge turnaround. And that's something to be very proud of, guys. So 4 total touchdowns, 3 of them in the first 2 games, and we improved as the season went on. At one point late in the season, the Trenton Times had us down as the least penalized team in the conference. Something to be proud of. We're disciplined. Okay, that's definitely something to be proud of. If we could take away those second quarters, which you can't, obviously, that's why we play 4, we did a very good job this year. I'm not saying every second quarter was down. We had our ups and downs. I told the kids, if we can put a game together, take a first quarter here, a first half here, put it together, we are going to be successful. Definitely a tough year, but I'll tell you what, it was definitely one where there was a lot of bonding going on. We stuck together, and our numbers stayed strong from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, which is something to be proud of. And I commend you guys for sticking together and helping each other out through the tough times. Okay, so what I want to do, well, before I move on, we've already started moving forward. Starting last Monday, we started our off-season workout. We've been lifting pretty hard. The numbers are a little slim. I know wintertime is tough for some of the athletes playing other sports, but we still need a lot more than 10 people in the gym. Okay? We're working out hard, and this is what we need to do. We need to start that now, guys, for tomorrow. Tomorrow starts it all off, but we made tomorrow last week. We have to move forward because we want a successful season in the win column this time. And I believe that we can do that as long as you guys believe and put forth the effort. You can't have excuses if you want to be good. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. Remember that quote. So without further ado, I'd like to move forward with our academic awards. Coaches, I'd like to call you guys all up here. All right, when you get called, you can come up, start off at the end of the line, shake your coach's hands, and then you can receive the award. The academic award is something that's extremely important, especially during a football season, any type of season. And I'm one to believe that by playing a sport, you actually schedule your time better, especially for your studies. So starting off with the freshmen, what we based it off of was just the first quarter grades. All right, so based off the first quarter grades, the 2010 Freshman Academic Award goes to Tom O'Connell.
Congratulations.
The Sophomore Academic Award is based off of actually last year's grades because this first quarter was not really factored into the GPA. So based on last year's grades as a freshman year-end grades, the 2010 Sophomore Academic Award goes to Eric Yell.
Congratulations.
So the Junior Academic Award goes sophomore and freshman final grades. And this 2010 Junior Academic Award is presented to Alex Micco.
Congratulations.
Superman.
Okay, the Senior Academic Award is a little interesting. We have two this year. We had one student that was higher unweighted, one student that was higher weighted. You look at the schedules, they were back and forth. It was tough to pick. So the first Senior Academic Award for 2010 is presented to Ethan Barron. And the second Senior Academic Award for 2010 is presented to Hiro Kusamoto. Okay, we're going to move on to our freshman football team. Coach Gallagher and Coach DeRisi, you're going to step forward.
Thank you very much. First of all, I just want to thank Coach Gargione for doing such a great job this year, his first year. I know he was under a lot of pressure replacing our previous coach, Coach Everett. And I'd like to, first of all, give Coach Gargione a big hand for doing such a good job this year. I'd also like to thank him for putting me in charge of the freshmen. I didn't know really what to think about when I was coaching the freshmen, but it was a tremendous opportunity to be in charge of 13 or 14 young men and to kind of lead them into battle every week. Some of these young men have very little football coaching, very little experience, but at the same time, we were a nice little family throughout the season because we were kind of practicing by ourselves. And then every once in a while, we would take on the JV team, the varsity team, and we would beat those guys up. But hey, we were doing a lot of different. Thank you. We were doing a lot of situations, losing some players, and without necessarily naming them, but I want to also not only thank all the freshmen for such a great season, but I'd also like to thank some of the sophomores because without some of those guys, we wouldn't have been able to have a team this year because numbers were a little bit on the low side, but a few of the guys really stepped in, and it takes a lot of pride to say to yourself, you know what, I'll come down with the freshmen. Especially the last game of the season, we had 3 or 4 guys. We lost a couple guys because they were on vacation and whatnot during the break, and asked a few guys to come up, and they came down to the freshman team. We played the last game, and I think everybody had a really good time. So I want to thank those sophomores as well. The last person I'd like to thank is my assistant coach, Coach DeReezy. Couldn't ask for a better coach to coach the defense. Coach DeReezy tried to call, what was my play?
Assassin.
Assassin. We tried to call the assassin as much as possible, which was all out blitz and we sent everybody. And that was in the name of ex-Raider, of course, Jack Taylor from Boston Leadership. God bless. All right, on to our first awards. Okay. So we'll just give our certificates first. I think he may have left here, but first one goes to Rye Anderson. Not sure if Rye's here. Rye was a center and he was an interior defensive lineman, did a real nice job for us, sure. Second certificate goes to Mike Chonka. What happened to your hair, Mike? See what we still got, man? We love Mike Chonka's hair. I got him in class. We're upset I don't see all the grease there. All right, where's your hair? Here. There you go. There you go, Mike. All right, good. All right, next one. Next certificate is Alex DeClue. Alex DeClue is one of our defensive backs and wide receivers, running backs. He did a real nice job. Played a lot of different positions for us. Next certificate is Tom Foray, and I think Tom was a nice guy, came by at the end, but had to leave early. All right, next one is Ben Goldstein. Ben. Defensive lineman, he did a real nice job all season long. Next young man is Ethan Gumpert, and Ethan also left a little early. It was a big, Black Ops party tonight. And had to go, I guess. Unfortunate. Next certificate is Chris Harrisides. Is Chris here? Chris is not here.
Yeah, Chris. What's going on here? What's going on? Chris!
We got somebody here. We got somebody here. Will Harrison. Will did a real nice job for us. He was a running back or a tailback. We expect big things from Will next year. He's also our free safety. Did a nice job coming up and filling for the run and batting down some passes for us. Okay. Next certificate is Liam Hustrom. Liam did a nice job for us. He was a wide receiver, running back. I think he played one time the quarterback. I think he punched the ball. I think he has a record for punt. I think it's -2 yards. It would have been just better than just give him the ball, just hike the ball and put it down the ground. But Liam did a real nice job, did a great job on defense as well. Next up, next certificate, I'm not sure if this young man's here, Tyler Jefferson. Real great young man, he wide receiver and a defensive back. Okay. Next young man, certificate goes to Ian Kaufman. Come on up here. Aiden was one of our tackles on both offense and defense. Did a real nice job for us all year. Next certificate is goes to, I think the young man just left a little while ago, Harry Kayoko. Harry's not here right now, but he was our linebacker, and our linebacker did a real nice job all season for us. Next certificate is Will Lee. Will? Or just here. No, I guess he left a little while ago. And our next one is goes to Thomas O'Connor. Real tough young man, a quarterback, and played several different positions: defensive line, defensive end, linebacker. Did a nice job. Next one is Dalton Dutch. Dutch did a real nice job for us. He was our wide receiver in the beginning of the school year, defensive back, and then he took over quarterback reins. We went to I don't even know the offense that I ran. So we ran a good offense. Our last one is Austin Taylor. I don't think Austin is here. But he was also our tight end and defensive end. So we're going to turn it over to myself still. And we'll give our most improved freshman. Okay, to be honest with you, I was talking to a couple of freshmen before I left. You know, some of the young men, it's the first time I've ever played. But I would say, and I was telling the young men before they left, a couple of the freshmen, that all of the players from the beginning of the season, yeah, they all improved. They all actually deserve this award. You know, unfortunately, we're just giving it to one young man. But at the same time, every freshman, and I really hope they all come back out next season, they all improved throughout the year. You know, the win total wasn't where we wanted it to be, but at the same time, all the freshmen, you know, got better at all the fundamentals of football, and I hope they enjoyed themselves out here on the gridiron. But the most improved player goes to Ryan Anderson, our center, and defensive lineman Big Ryan is down here and did a nice job for us all season. Got 110% better. All right. I'll turn it over to Coach DeReese real quick. As a freshman defensive coordinator, he's going to give the defensive award.
I'm not sure how many of you got the opportunity to come out and see our games this year, but defensively, we tried a lot of different systems. We tried a bunch of kids in different positions to try to see what worked, because each week we had a different group of guys that were going out in the field. And the player who got the defensive player of the year for the freshman, you can see he never gave up on any plays, no matter what the score was, how much time was left, anything like that. He always went out whistle to whistle, and he really did ask everything that he did, everything that we asked of him. We had him playing linebacker for a little bit, we had him playing defensive end for a little bit, we had him at D-back, and he really did a phenomenal job no matter where we put him. And Liam Hellstrom, and now we give back Coach Gallagher for the offense.
Okay, last award goes to a young man. He offensively just took the ball and ran up the gut as many times as we asked him to. Ran off the outside. He ran to the outside, threw the ball around when we needed to. Just did a tremendous job on the offensive side of the ball. I know I'd like to thank all his offensive linemen for making the holes as big as they possibly could. But our offensive MVP goes to Will Harrison. Lastly, I'd just like to thank all the parents for coming out, the freshman parents, the travel around a lot. I know it's hard to get out there on the Fridays when you're working and all that kind of stuff. You take some time off, you come out and support the freshman program, support the kids. Can't tell you how much that means to the players and to the coaching staff. So thank you to all the parents who came out and support the freshmen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Coach Gallagher, Coach DeReese. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to our JV awards and our JV team. We're going to call Coach Riley, Coach Franco up.
Thank you, Coach. Before we get started here, I just want to thank Mrs. Harrison and Ms. Johnston for always having the after-game treats on the bus ride home for the boys. If you haven't had a chance to try, I highly suggest Mrs. Harrison's homemade brownies. So we're going to get started here with the JV awards. First is Ryan Costa. Zach Gregorio. Dylan Schroeder, DDS. Some of you might not know his real name, but it's Will Harrison, a.k.a. 2G. Dylan Johnson. Alex Jones.
Yes, sir. Where's your shirt?
David Clemens.
Where's your shirt? Good job, man.
Jared Lipschitz. Sam Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Andrew Ochoa. Andy Pierre. Josh Pugh Sanford. Syed Raza.
He left.
Kyle Robinson.